Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. We begin with developing news. 2 women have been found dead in an Etobicoke home, and police are now searching for a man related to the victims.
Toronto police are actively looking for Joseph Ayala, 33 years old. Mr. Ayala is 5'11", male white with a shaved head. He is known to wear a cowboy hat as well as a cowboy-style high jacket with actually the tassels on the sleeve and black cowboy boots.
Police say the suspect is considered dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone who sees him is asked to call 911. Officers found the women in the home just east of Sherway Gardens at around 1 this afternoon while doing a well-being check. Both women were pronounced dead at the scene. No cause of death has been released. A business in Liberty Village was the target of an alleged arson attack earlier this month. The suspects are still at large, and police are now asking for the public's help, releasing wild video showing the suspects throwing Molotov cocktails inside the store. Chris Glover has more.
Caught on camera, but these arson suspects are still not caught by police. This Liberty Village storefront owner racing to the scene after getting the call from police around 3:30 a.m. on August 14th.
There was a lot of smoke coming from the broken windows. I didn't know if the whole place was on fire or not.
Tattoo shop owner Esteban Rodriguez immediately feared the worst, but firefighters quickly doused the blaze and no one was injured.
It was targeted, clearly. You could tell the guys have gloves. It was the only place. They were not interested in stealing anything. I mean, they're just throwing Molotov cocktails, right? So that's very clear what the intention was. They want to burn down the shop. They didn't succeed, so I am worried that this can happen again.
And do you have any idea why you were targeted?
Honestly, I don't. I have no idea. Business is good. We have a reputation for taking care of our clients. All our employees are really good guys.
Police released the security video showing 3 men break the front window with what appears to be a hammer and toss Molotov cocktails inside. Another video shows a 4th suspect carrying a gym bag while riding a bike. Police think he was a lookout.
Some of the suspects were wearing masks. It is hard to identify, but we're hoping like the full image will stir someone's memory of, just the way a person walks or runs. We can normally identify people we know that way.
Whoa.
We showed the video to people nearby.
Oh my God. Why did they do that? Does anybody know what happened?
This neighbor hopes police crack the case quickly.
As a resident of the area, it's quite disturbing, I would say. And I worry about, that's pretty brazen, so like that people can feel like they can do that even though there are security cameras and all of those things.
Given what you saw in that video, the shop is certainly lucky that the damage wasn't worse. You can see the windows here in the front are still boarded up, but they are still operating, giving tattoos. And in the back here, you can see where that Molotov cocktail ended, and there is still a little bit of damage here in the back of the shop.
The couches, the motorcycles, the computers and everything, nothing was really like scathed.
The tattoo shop employees say while the video was unnerving, it was encouraging seeing the neighborhood snap into action to help.
We had a lot of support from the community. Alouette actually gave us free lunch, so like everyone kind of came together, they understood, and we were the only ones that were hit.
Now Rodriguez is hoping it'll be the wider community that can help.
And trying to get some clarity on who did this and why they would do it, and hopefully justice is served.
Hoping the video will be the thing that helps police catch the suspects. Chris Glover, CBC News, Toronto.
The union representing 6,500 railway workers has issued a 72-hour strike notice to CN Rail. It comes just hours after the company's trains began rolling again after a stoppage.
The best way to have a contract is at the bargaining table. We don't believe to let a third party to decide what's going to be our working condition. We will use our constitutional right to fight the company here.
Canada's 2 biggest railways locked out workers yesterday after failing to reach deals with the Teamsters Union by deadline. And that prompted the federal Labour Minister to refer the dispute to Canada's Industrial Relations Board to consider binding arbitration. The union filed its strike notice against CN this morning, shortly after announcing it plans to challenge that move. The work stoppage at Canadian Pacific Kansas City continues. The dispute continues to impact GTA commuters with service suspensions on some GO Transit routes. The local businesses are bracing themselves for what could be a lengthy disruption to supply chains as well. Tyler Cheese takes a look at the local impact.
I guess we'll just start taking the Lakeshore line.
Some commuters were surprised to find the trains aren't running at the Cooksville GO station today. It's on the Milton line, which has been out of service since Thursday. The Milton service runs along CPKC-owned tracks.
They're asking us to go to Port Credit and take a train from there. So I don't know how much time is it going to take for me to travel to downtown from there. So I'm just booking a cab and I'll be going there.
Along with the Milton line, the Hamilton GO station is also closed. Milton line riders can use the Lakeshore West or Kitchener lines, and passengers who typically use Hamilton GO can use the West Harbour and Aldershot stations. But it's not just commuters feeling the impacts. Local businesses are preparing themselves for a long haul.
We supply into so many different products that are made elsewhere, like finished products. And so it's not just what we can't transport, it's what can't be made because we can't transport it, what can't be made elsewhere. Because we can't transport it. And that's where the reverberations start to happen and makes it such a cascading event.
He says trading partners south of the border will also suffer the longer the work stoppage goes on, and that could have major consequences for homegrown industries.
That becomes a big problem for us, a big loss to our economy, but also down the road. You know, as we become viewed as maybe a less reliable supplier, people look for other sources of supply.
With that in mind, he's hoping rail workers are back to work as soon as possible. Ontario's Minister of Transportation echoed that sentiment earlier today.
We urge the federal government and those parties to come to the table and to get an agreement so we can get commuters back on the rail and we can get and lessen the impact from an economic perspective.
Nationwide, the rail companies involved in the dispute move roughly $1 billion in goods per day. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
A South Asian police officer in Brampton is accusing Peel Police of racial discrimination. The complaint to the province's Human Rights Tribunal also alleges the officer was targeted because he spoke out about discrimination in the past. Sarah McMillan has the story.
This complaint comes from an officer who has worked for Peel Regional Police for more than 3 decades. Inspector Raj Beering has served in a number of bureaus, including criminal investigations and homicide. He was promoted to his current role of inspector in 2014, but his human rights complaint says his career has stalled after he testified 8 years ago in another Peel police officer's successful human rights complaint. Here's Beering's lawyer, Stephanie DiGiuseppe.
So while Inspector Beering has an exemplary service record, is an exceptional officer and a highly educated, well-trained officer, he has simply not advanced through the service as would be expected. We say, as a direct result of his public efforts to address equality problems in the service and the hostility that those efforts have met.
That previous human rights complaint came from another South Asian member of Peel Police. The tribunal found he was racially discriminated against at work. In Inspector Beering's testimony at the time in support of his colleague, he spoke about the service undervaluing diversity and South Asian policing, as well as the alleged use of racial slurs. It's that testimony that Beering alleges led to him being denied promotions and opportunities. One expert we spoke with who studies race and policing said Beering's complaint sheds light on a larger issue in policing.
Undoubtedly, there are many officers, whether they're South Asian, whether they're Black, that hear these discourses and they're not okay with them. But they will not say anything because they know that there is a penalty associated with speaking out.
A spokesperson for Peel Regional Police denied all allegations in Beering's claim, saying in an email the service is committed to providing a respectful workplace to all its members. The Peel Police Services Board said it would be inappropriate to comment since the matter is before the tribunal. Beering's claim alleges negative effects on his mental and physical health. He's seeking $500,000 in damages along with the promotion. His lawyer says he also hopes to see changes within the force. He's asking the tribunal to order an independent investigation into how Peel Police deal with complaints of reprisal from racialized officers. Sarah McMillan, CBC.
I'm Batman.
Jason Todd.
Dick Grayson. For me, it's I like becoming the character because then it makes me feel a little larger than life.
If you happen to be in downtown Toronto this weekend, you may feel like you've stepped into Middle Earth, the Marvel movie, a comic book, maybe a video game. Fan Expo is back, the annual celebration of superheroes, sci-fi, celebrities, and cosplay. You can catch it all at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre Saturday and Sunday. A lot of fanfare and pride in Caledon tonight as residents celebrate the return of newly minted Olympic medalist Alicia Newman. The 30-year-old won the bronze in the women's pole vault at the Paris Olympics just a couple weeks ago. Tonight, she's back in the town where she trains, signing autographs, taking photos, and inspiring the next generation. Anam Khan was there.
A small town girl returning to a hero's welcome.
I am just so over the mountain, over the moon. I've just been having so much fun.
Caledon celebrating Olympic medalist Alicia Newman the right way, with a beach party.
So we got the music here, we got the food here, and we have a lot of people out here to celebrate. And this is a really big deal because not only did Alicia Newman bring home a bronze medal, but she broke a national record. And for a town that's less than 80,000 people, some say it's like winning the Stanley Cup.
We want some little girl or little boy to see that medal, to dream, and maybe with great coach Doug Wood, maybe 5, 8, 10 years from now, they could be the next Alicia Newman.
And it's already happening.
Just seeing Alicia kind of made me think even though I'm not good enough now, that just if you keep working at it, even if you're from somewhere where there isn't a lot of athletics, you can still persevere and do good.
Proudly wearing her medal and jewelry representing previous Olympics, Newman is ready to lead the next generation. Already training in Caledon for nearly a decade, she set up a pole vaulting facility with her coaches here 4 years ago.
You know, there's some of us that are a little wild and crazy, which would be me, that, is the first person to do it. And now this just opens the door for everyone.
For younger athletes like Lago, Newman's impact began even before her success at the Olympics, when she gave Lago her pole vaulting shoes. She came back tonight to get them signed.
And I didn't have any pole vault shoes or spikes to compete in that fit me, and she just gave them to me because she knew I needed them.
Lago said she was inspired by Newman's vibrant personality, which the world saw a glimpse of in Paris, especially with her celebratory dance. Now, her coaches say they're seeing a surge in interest in the sport, and they're hoping the youth vault to new heights in this town. In the meantime, Newman will continue her celebration tour, stopping in her hometown of London next. Anam Khan, CBC News, Caledon.
The Paralympic Games are set to open in less than a week. In Toronto, Holland Bloorview Hospital is working with some of Canada's top para-athletes in their pursuit of Paralympic gold by making custom prosthetics for sports.
For me, it's the relationship that we're able to build here with the patients. It's so much more than just providing a device. We get to know them on a very personal level. It can be a very intimate relationship, and to be a part of their pursuit is something that I hold very deeply, and it's been an amazing experience.
Sheriana Haas and Marissa Papakonstantinou, two Canadian Paralympians competing in Paris, are clients of Holland Bloorview. Keba Njai, another client of Holland Bloorview, is hoping to qualify for the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. The 2024 Paralympic Games start on August 28th with the opening ceremony and goes on until September 8th. The 165th Kings Plate was back at Woodbine Racetrack today after being postponed because of heavy rains last week. Ardell Manukduk was at the track where tonight's big race ended in a bit of an upset.
Caitlin, her greatness, took this down. She was the only filly or female in the field taking on the boys, and she won. It was an unbelievable race. She's named after Caitlin Clark, WNBA superstar. I'm going to bring in Woodbine Entertainment horse racing analyst Rob Conway to break it down with us. Rob, my son Prince was supposed to win this race. What'd you see? What happened?
Well, I mean, yeah, my boy Prince was the presumptive favorite and championship 3-year-old here at Woodbine, and looked like at the top of the stretch here that he had it done. And Caitlin, her greatness, she kind of came from the clouds and was able to get past them all. And another filly, another win here for a filly in the King's Plate.
You mentioned that's another filly. This is the second time in 3 years that a filly has won here on the Woodbine Oval. What is it about fillies on this track that make them so successful?
Yeah, you know, a better part of a decade. Again, Rafi Hernandez, the jockey, and Kevin Attar, the trainer, with Moira a couple of years ago, and now her Caitlin, her greatness, the same jockey, same trainer. Look, it takes a special horse to win the King's Plate. We've been lucky. We've had special fillies here at Woodbine.
Unbelievable race, and you know, this wasn't the only race today. There have been lots of others, a lot of action today, and a lot of the people I spoke with were actually here last week when the race got rained out, as you mentioned, Kelda. Have a look. The Hats and Horses were back at Woodbine Racetrack for the rescheduled King's Plate. The 165th edition of the race was supposed to run last week, but a torrential downpour had other ideas. But the weather today was more than cooperative.
I mean, we've earned it. We've earned today's weather, so we're going to run with it. But it's great. I think there was a lot of challenges and a lot of disappointment coming out of last weekend. Our customers and fans were unbelievable in terms of their support and their patience as we worked through it.
The grandstand was free as a make good. Anyone who had tickets to it or the Hats and Horses party last week will be refunded. But what about the people who put a lot of thought into last week's outfit? Is that the same fascinator you wore last week?
No, it's different.
Different? So you got a second.
No, I stole it from her.
I bought 3.
Yeah.
For the first event because I was unsure of what I was going to wear.
I have fascinators. You know, I do tea parties and stuff like that, so I'm well prepared. The closet is full of outfits.
I chose to wear the same thing again because we decided to match this year, so I thought it would be fun.
All new.
All new.
Yeah. All new.
All new.
Can't be an outfit repeater. Creativity.
As much as the fashion is a staple of the King's Plate, so too is the betting. But not everyone is experienced, so what's the strategy?
Random. It's pretty random. So say, for instance, there was something called test score. I'm really interested in cricket. So I'll bet on test score. We went down to the paddock and had a really good look at the horses. They both came last. So
you had no idea what you were looking for anyways, trying to assess what?
I don't know, some sort of karmic link in some ways. I don't know. Just, well, that one looks spooked. That one looks calm. That one looks strong. I don't know.
I did speak to Rafael Hernandez, the jockey of Caitlin, her greatness, earlier today. He said that if he would win, he was looking forward to celebrating with his family. He's going to get the chance to do that. We'll send it back to you.
All right, looks like lots of fun. Thanks so much, Dale. Our Dale Manukduk reporting from Woodbine Racetrack tonight. 155 youths from across our city graduated from Toronto Police's Youth in Policing initiative today. The graduates sharing some of their key takeaways from their experience.
I feel like it's tons of experience has been made. We got tons of awards today. So using this on the resume in future jobs, I feel like it will help me in future jobs because I work with TPS now a bit.
Being able to take leadership and initiative, because in life, you know, if you back down a bit, you won't be able to get those opportunities and experiences which will allow you to succeed in life. And this program really opened my eyes about how if you take those leadership opportunities, how much it'll benefit you in your life.
The 8-week program saw youths between 15 to 18 years old try their hand in various units and divisions at the police service, gaining work experience and life skills through their interactions with officers and community members. We'll be right back. An iconic Jamaican patty shop is back in business. Randy's Patties officially reopened today at their Eglinton West location. A Toronto staple for more than 40 years, people couldn't wait to get their hands on some patties again.
I've been ordering the beef patties since I've been a kid. My parents used to take me in a car, and yeah, we're here. I'm very happy they reopened.
Randy's closed up shop in February 2022, citing a number of reasons, including Metrolinx construction, the pandemic, labor shortages, and aging owners. They are now under new ownership, but the food and the recipes remain the same. All right, Riley Laychuk joins us now with a look at your forecast. And Riley, the hot and humid temperatures will be making a comeback.
Well, Kelda, we're really looking at the heat ramping up and the humidity in particular as we head into the weekend. So I'm calling it a hot, humid weekend ahead, a dry stretch of weather continuing as we get into not only the weekend but into next week. And I say dry as in we're not expecting any precipitation through the weekend, but above seasonal temperatures and certainly that humidity. So it will feel a lot stickier out there, particularly as we get through into early next week. As I mentioned, the dry stretch of weather continues, so I don't have a lot to show you on Futurecast as we get into the weekend here. So starting Saturday, a mainly sunny sky, a hint that we could see through the morning and into the afternoon hours, maybe a few sprinkles, even as far south as Cottage Country, but certainly into northern Ontario, the potential for some precipitation. For southern Ontario, southwestern Ontario, mainly sunny skies as we get through the day on Saturday. Carbon copy as we get through Sunday, mainly sunny skies and a lot more humid as we get into the day on Sunday, and particularly as we get into Monday, which we'll get into in just a moment here. I want to show you some forecast temperatures as we get through the day, start the day on Saturday at least. So pretty seasonal for this time of the year. 17 in Toronto, 16 through the Niagara region and into Hamilton. Could see temperatures as low as maybe 13 or 14 degrees by the water, maybe 15 degrees by the water in Toronto, but generally looking at about 17 to 19s even through southwestern Ontario. Windsor starting at 18 degrees tomorrow. And by the time we get into the afternoon hours, we're looking at temperatures shooting up once again. Look at some of these highs for tomorrow afternoon. 29s for Windsor and Sarnia, Chatham, Kent, London, 27 degrees, 28 in Toronto, 26 in Hamilton. This is at or above seasonal for this time of the year. We should be at about that 25, 26 degree mark. But I'm going to show you the muggy meter again tonight because this is what's going to really add some oomph into those temperatures, especially as we get into next week. So we're looking at dew point temperatures here, and keep in mind the closer this number is to the actual temperature, the higher it is, the stickier it's going to feel. So through Saturday, Sunday, you're going to notice that humidity outside, but look at what happens as we get to Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We're really looking at that humidity getting oppressive in some cases and feeling closer to even 40 degrees by the time we get into mid next week. So 27s, 28s through the weekend, feeling closer to the low 30s throughout the weekend. Then we see a 28-degree high on Monday, and Kelda, risk of thunderstorms both Tuesday and Wednesday next week, but feeling closer to 40 as we get into the middle of next week as well.
Thanks so much, Riley.